Let's complete another practice test to get us ready for the Excel certification test. Again, 7 projects. Task 1, create a stacked area chart that shows the registration trend from January to December for football, baseball, basketball. So we would need to pick up football, baseball, basketball only, and then the months. We're going to go to Insert, a chart. I'm just going to tell it all charts down here, bottom right corner. All charts. We want an area chart, a stacked area chart. Tell it OK. Drag it over here out of the way. And then we're going to change my colors to be monochromatic, palette 4, which if I hover it tells me color 8 as it said in the instructions. Task 2, add the chart title New Sports to the pie chart on the registration revenue worksheet. Well, that's this one down here. I'll click in the chart title and type in the new title. Task 3, move the pie chart New Sports from the registration revenue worksheet and place it as an object in the charts worksheet. Right click, move chart as an object in the charts worksheet. Task 4, add an alt text title New Sports to the pie chart containing soccer, tennis, and volleyball. So I'm going to right click it. I'll go to Format the Chart Area. We get an option here. We'll go to Alt Text and the title New Sports. Project 2. Remove all duplicate records from the food inventory worksheet. I'm going to click in my table to select it, and now I can go to Remove Duplicates. They didn't give me any more specific instructions, so I'll use all of those options. Task 2, in G1, enter a function that counts the number of food items. Count. If we look at the count function, it's going to count the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. That won't do us because we have words. So instead, if we go to count A, we can count the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So let's tell it OK. And here is my range. Task 3, on the revenue worksheet, formula in J10 that uses the function to calculate the average revenue from the January column. Well, I'll go to average and the January column. Task 4, on the revenue worksheet in cell C5 to C7, cell C5 to C7, insert an image. Well, let's go to Insert, Pictures, Documents folder, Geometrics templates. We want the food truck. Set the image to a width of 1. If I select the image here, I can come back and change its width to now be 1. And we've got it in C5 through C7. Project 3. Task 1, remove all hidden properties and personal information from the workbook. That's under File, Inspect Workbook, Inspect Document. We're going to tell it to inspect. It has found some document properties and personal information. We'll tell it to remove all. Task 2, in the grain production worksheet, apply the title style to cell A1. We want the title. Task 3, in the grain production worksheet, modify the table style to remove the shading that appears on every other row. So I'll click in my table to select it. I'm going to go to Design, I'm going to uncheck banded rows. Task 4 in the grain production worksheet, change the sort order of the first table to alphabetize the countries from A to Z. Data sort, countries from Z to A. No, I want it to be from A to Z. Task 5, enter a formula in cell E4 that calculates the total production of barley and updates the results even if the row order is changed. So in other words, it doesn't want us to select certain cells that are just have the word barley in them now in case they were to change. So what we'd like to use is a sum-if function. We want to sum. Well, the range that we want to evaluate is going to be the product. The criteria is if it is barley. And if it is barley, we want to sum the total production. So this will be my range. And then we'll add up all the production just of barley. Project 4, Task 1 on the Sales Commission's worksheet, configure the target sales column so that the data exists but is not visible. So I'm going to highlight it and tell it to hide. Task 2, modify the scaling of the Sales Commission worksheet so it fits on a single page when printed. Page layout, page setup, fit to 1 page by 1 page. Task 3, remove the cell containing the projected sales in the Sales Commission worksheet. Go to my home ribbon. I can tell it to delete the cell. Task 4, in the Sales Commission worksheet, use an automatic formatting method to apply the orange gradient fill data bars to the total sales column. I'm going to highlight those. Conditional formatting. Those are my data bars. Gradient fill, orange. Task 5, in the Sales Commission worksheet, insert a formula in cell G4 that references the data in the total sales column and in the commission rate to calculate the values in the commission column. Copy the formula into the remaining cells. So they really just want me to write a formula. Equals the total sales times the commission rate. That's good, but look when we go to copy it down, it doesn't work. Why does it not work? Well, if we follow it on down, what's happened to my J3? It kept changing. Why is that? Because that was a relative cell reference. I need to go back. I need to insert my dollar signs to make it be absolute, and now it will copy down. Project 5, change the margins of the summary worksheet to 0.75 on the top, bottom, left, and right. Page layout, margins. Let's make them custom. We want 0.75 for all of these. And then my header and footer, 0.5. Task 2, hide the rental revenue worksheet. So it still exists, but it's not visible. Right click and I'll tell it to hide. Task 3, save the summary worksheet into the Geometrics template folder as a PDF file. So I'm on that sheet, file, save as, Geometrics templates. We want to give it the name summary, and we want it to be a PDF file. Task 4, outline both the columns and rows of the table in the summary worksheet. That's under data, group, auto outline. Data, group, auto outline. Task 5, we want to sort this worksheet A to Z by location, then product, then by season. Sort, location, A to Z, add a level, product, A to Z, add a level, season. But this one, they want it to be spring, summer, fall. Spring, summer, fall. We need to add a new one, spring, comma, summer, comma, fall, and I'll tell it to add. Okay. Okay. Project 6, task 1, on the fundraiser worksheet, delete row 4 from the first table only. Now, my normal way of deleting is to come here and delete the whole row, but the problem is that's going to delete it over here. So instead, I'm just going to select these cells, right-click it, delete the table row. Task 2, display all of the formulas on the cookie sales worksheet, Control tilde. Task 3, configure the fundraiser worksheet to display rows 1 through 3 on every page that's printed. Page layout, print titles, rows to repeat at the top would be 1 through 3. Task 4, apply the orange accent 2 fill color and white background 1 font color, and apply the bold format to the cell range on cookie sales. Apply specific formatting here to A2 to B2. All right, we want to have orange accent 2, there it is. My font we want to be white background 1, and we want it to be bold. Task 5, on the fundraiser worksheet, configure the table to display only records of the Blazing Bronco club members. Well, if we look over here, we see that Blazing Broncos are color blue, but we don't have Blazing Broncos over here to filter it by, so instead we can filter it by color. So we can go here to my first name, but instead of filtering it by the text, we can filter by color, blue. And we just get the blue, which is my Blazing Broncos. Project 7, task 1, color the tab of the Q1 sales worksheet to green. Hover over, make sure you get just plain green. Task 2, rename sheet 2 to suppliers. Task 3, insert page 1 of question mark page numbering in the header of the Q1 sales worksheet. So page layout, I'm going to go to my header, and we have page 1 of question mark. Task 4, copy the data from the Q1 sales worksheet A8 to E13. A8 to E13. Copy and transpose it to the cell beginning in A8 on the seedling sales worksheet. What we would do, that's a paste special. And with the paste special, I'm going to tell it to transpose, which means what used to be my rows now becomes my columns and vice versa. Task 5, remove the table formatting from the small tree sales. Go to the Design tab and tell it to convert to range. It no longer is a table. Task 6, on the small tree sales worksheet, insert a formula in F20 that will calculate the value of the smallest amount in the total column. Well, that's one of our shortcut ones here, the minimum function, the smallest of those. Task 7, to apply the quick analysis tool to the data on the Q1 sales worksheet to create a clustered column chart showing sales of only Douglas fir, giant sequoia, KMX trees for each month. Apply the chart style 14, monochromatic palette 7, quick layout 2. So let's go on and get started. Quick analysis tool, we'll go to charts, clustered column chart. They want it to be chart style 14. Monochromatic palette 7. Quick layout 2. They want me to locate it as an object in the seedling sales chart worksheet. And then they want me to move it to the upper left corner. And that concludes our third practice test, getting us ready for your MOS certification test.